it is a little bit painful. It's a little bit embarrassing. I wanted to really grasp that feeling. So that's what I did. I took all of those things that I think about, that I feel, that I don't want in my brain, and I turned each one into a song.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Ivory Tower Boiler Room. Yes, I'm in person with my guest today, which I love because the last time I was in person was at the Nassau County Museum of Art in Roslyn Harbor, technically, for the Gilded Age Mansion HBO Gilded Age series recap. So if you haven't seen that, and well, listen to it or seen it on YouTube on our channel, watch it now. And then I can't wait to introduce these two gentlemen next to me. But first, I want to shout out Pen and Brush in Chelsea, Manhattan. We are in such a beautiful art gallery space right now. Thank you to Dawn Delicat, the director. Thank you to Birds. Thank you to Parker. It's just so wonderful to be here. So, who are these two fine specimen of men next to me? I'm feeling a little verklempt right now. So right next to me is Jeffrey Schmelkin.
There you go.
I think I said that right.
Good. Did you practice
Okay.
that?
No, but I'm from New Jersey and been on Long Island a while. So like, I know my,
there you are.
I know my Ashkenazi Jewish names. I hope you're Ashkenazi. Oh, shoot. Okay. Whew. Okay. And then next to me is Rye Myers, who I kind of know a little.
Just a little, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to reveal how long we've known each other, Rye?
Yeah, what's it been? I mean, it's been over, what, I think.
So I just turned 30.
Okay, but so I think since 2006.
Definitely. Maybe earlier.
5 or 6, I think was when we.
Okay, so a while. Yeah. It's been a while. We don't have to do the whole algorithm.
Yeah, I don't.
Yes.
That's why I'm not a mathematician. I don't know.
That's a
2006.
Well, we are all here to reveal. Rye and I met in Mainstage in a summer camp.
Yes.
Summer theater in South Jersey.
Yep.
Summer Stage.
Shout out to Summer Stage.
Yes. Mary, who you all know from the True Crime and Academia. I met her there too. Yes. So all routes lead to Mainstage, except Jeffrey. I didn't meet you in South Jersey. But I'm here today because I actually got to witness in the summer such an exciting workshop off-Broadway performance at the Triad that Jeffrey composed this musical song cycle. We'll get into what that means, but it's called The Parts I Keep Inside, and Rye produced it with his production company. So I was so excited to see it. I think it was July. Yes, it was July. Feels like a long time ago, but it wasn't that long ago.
July 9th and 11th. And I think you came on the 9th, I believe. That Saturday night, right?
Yes.
So
it was a Saturday.
Yep.
No. It was the other one.
So it was the 11th.
The Monday.
It was the Monday night. Yes. And the Triad is a beautiful venue. And I was so excited to actually see the stages of how a musical is produced. So like to jump in right away, Jeffrey.
Here we go.
Yes, you're on the spot.
All right.
How long ago did The Parts I Keep Inside? Where is its origin story? And does it come from other works you had already, had produced, had composed?
Yeah, so it comes from itself, I suppose. It started as, a 2020 pandemic passion project. I really wanted to get at those, those moments when it's 3:32 in the morning and you're like, if I fall asleep now, I'll have 2.5 or whatever it is hours left of sleep, and something's keeping
I'm asleep usually, but when I was an undergrad, never mind. But
okay.
Yeah.
But like something.
Yes. It's eating away at you.
Something's eating away at you. Something that you want to push away. Something that when you think about it, it is a little bit painful. It's a little bit embarrassing. I wanted to really grasp that feeling. So that's what I did. I took all of those things that I think about, that I feel, that I don't want in my brain, and I turned each one into a song.
So is that why it's called a song cycle? Is because each fits a certain...
Yeah. So when we did this in 2021, right? Yes. what year is it? That was more of a song cycle. What you saw was not quite getting to the full musical stage, but more of a musical than a song cycle. In 2021, it started as a collection of these songs around this common theme of the parts that I don't want, to come out.
So your inner psyche,
Yes.
these psychological emotions
Yes.
that you're trying to keep repressed or pushed down, maybe pushed down.
Exactly.
Because repressed sounds like Sigmund Freud. Yeah, so it's just so interesting to me about how this all came from the pandemic, that you were working on it during the pandemic, because I think right now what is so inspiring and exciting is we're finally seeing projects like yours, like the parts I keep inside. And I know Rye also interviews the only Broadway. Well, say your tagline, please.
Yeah, I host the only Broadway talk show in all of New York City. It's in-person Broadway talk show, Live with Rye and Friends on Broadway, which just celebrated 1 year last month.
Yay. Okay. Congratulations. But like you also, I'm sure, have now started to talk to people like Jeffrey who were creating during the pandemic, and we're now starting to see the fruits of that creativity. And I think about that especially with Off-Broadway and with film and TV. And I mean, I guess we could eventually will weigh in on what's happening on Broadway right now, because I know there's a lot of Michigas controversy, things about what's getting produced and what's not getting produced. But I think what's exciting is that you actually got your piece out to the public. And we're seeing this whole new renaissance of these types of narratives. So like, I wonder with both of you, how do you weigh in on that? Like, how do you weigh in on the work that was done during the pandemic creatively, and now how it's being shared with audiences?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is that you sort of said it, is that it is now finally getting to be able to be shared. I think a lot of this work that was being done during the pandemic didn't really have anywhere to go. I mean, there was people that were doing Zoom performances or virtual things, but there really wasn't any place to really present it. And so I think now we're seeing, works that were created, contrived, and done during the pandemic, now finally getting their chance to come on and have a platform on a stage, whether it's, here in the city or elsewhere, to finally be presented.
Yeah. And do you think that from like the production side, because right, not to say that you both are in your distinct positions, because I'm sure there are composers who can produce and there are producers who compose, but it doesn't usually.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Okay, Andrew Lloyd Webber. There you go. We can weigh in on Bad Cinderella at a later time, but no, we're not weighing in on that. Sorry. I'm not that interested, but sorry, that's my hot take. I'm not a huge Webber fan, but it's a whole other podcast. There's just a few musicals okay, never mind. I do love Sunset Boulevard, and I do like Phantom, but okay. So Jeffrey brought up Andrew Lloyd Webber, so I had to go there. But with your producer hat, and from what you've seen with trends right now, like the work that Jeffrey did with the parts I keep inside, like how did you know, okay, this is something I have to invest in, or we really need to stage a workshop, stage an actual in-person, have the musicians, have the cast? Why was that such an important message?
Well, because it spoke to me so much. I thought, I felt that from at the time reading sort of what was there from the music and little dialogue at the time in 2021, when it was sort of the song cycle, just the emotion in the music, and then obviously as the script developed, emotion in the script about this is about the things that as us as humans that we experience and go through. Everyone experiences it, but Jeffrey has been bold enough to put that out on paper, to, as we say, break the fourth wall, to put it on paper, to write out a song about, everything from heart, your first love, to embarrassment, to anxiety, depression, things we don't, not wanting to get out of bed, being, trying to say that we're happy when we're not, and things that we as human beings deal with every day and don't necessarily talk about, or we're scared to talk about. And I thought that resonated so much with me, but I do feel that it resonates, I think, with everyone. And that's why I say to people, I think that this musical is truly for everyone, because even if you aren't, even if you can't identify with anyone on that stage, sexuality
Or you haven't
or
gone-
gender wise
sorry.
or whatever, but
Yeah.
but you can at least understand that,
Mhm.
wow, I've had that when I had my first love, or when I had my,
And like you're saying, you didn't have to have gone through a depressive episode.
right. But everybody's had, let's say, their first love that maybe, that somebody they had a crush on, that either, that how do you tell them, I have a crush on them, but do they like me back? Or,
it seems like you
want to
put a lot of
today,
thought into this narrative about first crushes. Do you want to reveal anything to us?
No, I'm just saying,
I have to, I'm just trying to
saying.
get that steaminess out there.
No,
Are you sure?
I had first crushes? Yes.
I think we all, well,
first crushes. I think they've all been straight guys, but I mean,
Oh.
so I mean,
that
my record
I've
that
been
is not
there.
good, but
I'm still
but,
there.
but,
Like,
yeah.
let's not lie.
but I think that the essence of the whole music, I mean, that's what really spoke to me, was just everything within that I feel like,
Mhm.
and the fact that Jeffrey was bold and brave and strong enough to, put this out there. Of course, some things have obviously been changed, or, it's things and situations are changed of it, but it's what he's experienced. And I think that, it resonates with everyone, if that makes sense.
No, of course. Yeah. Well, it makes sense because this is your truth. And anything you say, Rye, is
I couldn't be happier and prouder. And as I said, we met early 2021. I say to people, they said, when they say, keep those connections, or, reach out to people, you never know where that
well,
goes.
so how did you meet?
Well, that Jeffrey reached out to me on Instagram. I got an Instagram message from
Oh,
him.
it's a DM.
Yeah, just
collaboration.
just saying, I really like your stuff, your profile.
Oh,
You seem really
wow.
inspiring, something of that nature. Like, would you be open to, like, I have some projects I'm doing. Would you be open to talking? And I was like, literally so flattered and so like taken aback. I was like,
Oh,
yeah, I'm like, sure. Me, I'm so self-deprecating. I shouldn't be, but I am. I was like, man, I'm like, okay. So we just got to chatting.
no,
and
own it, Rye. You are a powerful
so we
person.
got to chatting, and he sent me some of his work, and then we just the ball was rolling, and then the parts that he decided came up, and it was something that I really resonated with. So
Well, and I think it's amazing. We have to congratulate you both, but to take that ownership of having your first musical produced. I mean, that is such an accomplishment. And for Jeffrey to have brought that musical out and composed it. I mean, being in that audience, it was so electric, like as an audience member, because not only did we get amazing ambiance with food and cocktails, it was great. I love the Triad.
shout out to the Triad
Yeah.
Theater. We love it.
And I loved how like it became almost this cabaret meets like how the musical became so immersive. It's almost like when you see stand-up comedy, and which I don't know a lot about. I mean, I watch a lot of videos of stand-up comedy.
Mhm.
Or actually, no, that's not true. I saw Kathy Griffin in Philadelphia with the like laugh your head off. But I'm a huge fan of hers. And I love that interaction from the audience. And I thought your song cycle, the parts I keep inside, everyone was really connecting with each song in a different way. Like whether it was, we'll jump into it. I mean, there's the levity of humor with the narrator, right? And the narrator's name is Jeffrey. Okay. And
In this version.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Things are changing. Be on the lookout.
Oh, things are changing. Oh,
You know how musicals are. They're always
Evolving.
Yes,
We'll
it's
talk about
every-
the process.
Yeah. It's
oh,
always-
okay.
Always
Sorry,
evolving.
Yeah. So I love, there's also, well, basically, if you want to break it down, each actor on the stage, like if it's not Jeffrey in this version that I saw, represents a different aspect of Jeffrey,
Yes.
like Jeffrey's internal monologue in a way, almost like
His
or
internal
anxieties, storylines.
Yeah.
Okay. So like there's that one about what's the one with fucking it?
Which one?
Okay.
Is it,
Well, no, the one in the
degree-
song
a
lyric.
fucking degree in music.
Yes,
I've got a fucking degree in music.
yes. So there's like debating, why did I get a degree in music? There's also like being a sexy telemarketer, which I love that song. That's probably my favorite. I think it's hilarious.
Talking about your, the love, the crush you have on somebody, and
Yeah.
they like you back.
And I also like, because I knew with Jeffrey, I really wanted to hear inspiration you have with other composers. But sometimes I think it might be more interesting for you, and I'm not sure, but how your audience responds to connections they make with other composers. As a Long Islander, I was so excited when I finally found a med spa that totally matched everything I wanted. I was looking for a good facial place, a good place that had skin products. And guess what? In my hometown now of Port Jeff Village, there is Skin Med Spa. And I'm here with the owner, Lauren, who's going to explain to you all what kinds of services are offered, products that are offered, and why you should come to Skin Med Spa if you're in the Long Island or New York City area.
Well, we wanted to open up a place that was offering all holistic natural treatments that were really providing results driven, where someone could come in maybe struggling with acne and has tried so many different products and they couldn't find what was right for them. So we customize all treatments to really help you dive into your skincare goals, whether it's anti-aging, rejuvenation, like I said, acne, just to help with cellular turnover, focus on building healthy skin. We have 2 locations. We have Skin Med Spa and Body right here in Port Jeff Village. And again, we focus on all natural plant-based skincare. We'll help you design a good custom skincare line for you, and we'll help you find the right treatments, whatever your skin needs.
Yeah. So Lauren and Sarah, they know that I get a cupping here. I get hydrofacials with Rosie. I get jet peel facials with Lauren. Everything here is so wonderfully curated, like Lauren said. And there's just any kind of product. Oh, I know. There's now laser hair removal. I mean, there's always a new product being offered. So everyone out there who's listening, if they want to come to Skin Med Spa in Port Jeff Village, how can they find you and get in touch?
We're really active on social media. So at Skin Med Spa PJ on Instagram, that's the best way you could probably find us because we really try to post daily updates of our clients and who's coming in and the treatments that we're doing. And of course, on our website, there's always links on how to book an appointment. But everything we do when you call us, that's always the best way. We answer the phone and we'll talk forever and help you find whatever is perfect for you.
Okay, well, hopefully Lauren gets to meet you all. Say that you heard Skin Med Spa's ad on the Ivory Tower Boiler Room, and maybe I'll see you all here. Okay.
Sounds good. Bye. Thank you.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Than you like saying, "Oh, I was directly inspired," because
I've heard that I'm a mix, like a cross between Stephen Schwartz, Jason Robert Brown, and Tom Kitt.
Okay, see,
So
I was gonna
Stephen
say
Schwartz harmonies,
that makes sense.
Jason Robert Brown's like piano runs, and Tom Kitt's time changes.
Okay, well,
Is
so
what
just
I've heard.
to give an example, right? So Stephen Schwartz composed Wicked, Pippin, The Magic Show. That's a one not always known. Godspell, yeah. And then Tom Kitt's Next to Normal, right? And then Jason Robert Brown. I mean, talk about song cycles.
Yes.
You have a whole new, and songs for a new world. Yes. I was about to say A Whole New World.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love Songs for a New World. But
It's one of my
yes, Stars in the Moon from that cycle.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. But no, the last 5 years is incredible. Talk about heartbreak at the beginning. Oh,
Right.
and I watched that with my ex-boyfriend when that movie came out. But we weren't exes then.
Oh, okay.
But then I started listening back to that opening and I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm good now though. It's been a
Wow.
long time.
Was his name Jamie?
No.
Okay.
No. I won't air his name. No. We separated in a healthy way eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like 7 years ago. Okay. This is not a dating interview. But if anyone's interested, I am single. Okay. So, 3, I think we're all single, are we?
No.
Jeffrey is not. Nope.
Oh, never mind.
I
Okay,
am
so
single, but
okay, so 2.
no, Jeffrey's got a lovely.
Okay, so 2 single men and a taken guy. Okay, that's the new show we're starting. But okay, back to the composers. I was actually thinking with like even the Sexy Telemarketer song, it has almost like Jonathan Larson Rent. I don't know why I was thinking Rent, but it almost has that
I'll take it.
Out Tonight or like very subversive, very cutting like a cutting humor, edgy, this edginess in it with the lyrics.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great lyricist, great composer. Yeah, so you did the music and the lyrics, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you feel? Let's talk about Next to Normal. I mean, your show is so centered on, I know, I got to see it on Broadway. It was still one of the most stunning, I think, stunning experiences in the theater that I haven't felt in a very long time. Even that was a while ago. I was, in high school still. But how do you process these comparisons to Next to Normal with the parts I keep inside? Because I feel like that must be the musical that people
I've never
bring up a lot.
actually, so another musical that I worked on in college called Untitled Time, people said, like Jeremy Hansen Next to Normal, this kind of thing. With the parts I keep inside, I'm getting a lot of Strange Loop.
Yeah, everyone has said that, yes.
See, I haven't seen Strangely,
Yeah.
so maybe I would.
Neither
say
had
that.
I.
Oh.
Did
But
you
I
end up
mean,
seeing it?
no, I know I hadn't.
Oh, you
gotten
haven't
over
seen
it
it.
yet.
Oh, I wanted to.
Oh, you have till
Hey,
January.
I know. I need to get
January.
tickets. I need to get tickets.
I'm sure Rye's seen it. I
Yeah,
feel like you
no,
have
I
to
saw
see
it.
every
No, I saw it.
every musical. Yeah.
But no, a Strange Loop is what people have been saying is sort of what the
Which
show-
I hadn't seen.
Well, and do they
Haven't seen.
tell you why? Like, why is a Strange Loop their go-to?
Just like the format, I suppose. But if you want to compare to Next to Normal, it's one of my favorite musicals. So I will take that as well.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure with the song cycle, maybe I could see, I guess, a Strange Loop, even though I haven't seen it. I've heard the cast album,
Yes.
and I know it's like no intermission, and
I think the comparison,
inner
not,
thoughts kind of.
inner thoughts speaking.
yes, because
The inner thoughts go out.
right, and I will say, like, it is, it's the comparison is wonderful, but it's, obviously each show is different of its own. Nothing was taken from or whatever. It just so happens that the parts I keep inside also does focus on that sort of those voices that are in your head.
But I think that's
So-
also just
Yeah.
where a lot of new theater art is
Right,
going. I think
exactly,
that,
exactly.
we're all turning in on ourselves.
Yeah. Which is great.
It's not as like we're really literally breaking the fourth
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
Like
Good
even
call.
with the character
Mhm.
or characters, like really wanting to dive deep. And maybe that's why, I think everyone out there, I'm sure, wants to know about our takes on what's on Broadway right now. And because I think this will be a helpful way of seeing what I'm excited about, which is the longevity of the parts I keep inside and the next steps. So I'm about to see Leah Michelle in Funny Girls. Actually, when this comes out, I probably will have seen her. So
When are you seeing it?
November 13th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, when this comes out, I probably will have just come back from seeing it, and I'm sure it will have been a wonderful time with her. From everything I've heard, especially friend of the show, Jesse Green, who is the chief theater critic of the New York Times, who reviewed her in it and had very nice things to say. Different than the first review, but yeah, I did see the.
You'll really
Beanie.
enjoy. You'll really enjoy
Yeah,
it.
I did see Beanie in it,
Yeah,
and
you'll enjoy it.
I liked her comedy. There's things I like about Beanie. Okay, not gonna say anything negative.
Yes.
Negative. But yeah, what currently exists on Broadway, a lot of revivals. I think Camelot's coming back. I'm pretty sure. I think we're getting. Well, I don't know, Rye and Jeffrey, you probably have your finger on the pulse more of 1776, which I never would have thought would have come back. Is now back with a queer female, all female,
Cast.
non-binary type cast. What else is on the horizon? I mean, I don't really see a lot of. My whole point is I don't see these, the psyche of a character being displayed outward. That Broadway hasn't necessarily caught up to that yet. It's still very tough.
I don't think they will.
And why is that, Jeffrey?
I just it's show business at the end of the day. It's a business. We have to do things that sell. sells. I think that Off-Broadway is going to be seeing a lot of more of this kind of inward looking. They're just, they have smaller budgets, they have smaller spaces. It's easier, especially nonprofit organizations. I think they're the ones that do, like they don't care as much about, we need to sell this number of tickets. They have a little bit more, I don't want to say freedom, but a little bit more ability to do new, untested works, whereas Broadway, at the end of the day, business, talk about art and entertainment all you want.
Yeah. Well, it's show business.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not show friends. And that's the thing I hear all the time. It's a business, like you said, at the end of the day. But even Patti LuPone has recently come out talking about the Disneyfication of Broadway has been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's just not because of Disney starting Beauty and the Beast as their first. Wait, was it? I think it was Beauty and the Beast, right? Wasn't that the first?
Was the first Disney on Broadway
Well,
show. Yeah.
actually, technically, I think it would be Snow White live at Radio City Music Hall, but
Yeah, it was Beauty and the Beast was their first theatrical, actual Broadway.
on Broadway.
On Broadway,
Yeah. Just because I love the Snow White on Radio City Music Hall.
Oh, gotcha.
But that was actually, oh my, you don't know about that history? Oh,
I've heard of, yeah, I've heard, I didn't.
It was in the 80s to save Radio City Music
Oh,
being
yes.
demolished, or
Oh,
they're going to make
okay,
them
I
into
remember now.
apartments.
Yes.
So then that's when the Rockettes started to come back.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
but okay, well, I have to send you the Snow White film. It's very interesting. Do you know about it, Jeffrey?
Heard of.
Yeah. Okay, well, you both need to watch this now. Everyone out there
Sorry,
needs to
send us
watch
the
it.
link.
I'll send you the links. But yeah, it is. I know what Patti LuPone said because I just watched this interview with her.
Right.
She said that it's become not just a Disney-fied Broadway, which has been existing a while, but it's become almost, I think she was trying to say Las Vegas Review. Well, think Moulin Rouge type shows.
Well, yes, but I also think that we have to, I think, also give audiences the benefit of the doubt. I mean, you look at a thing I look at the parts like Even Side, and definitely, of course, Off-Broadway, the goal for every show is Broadway, and I can see it being on Broadway. I think if you look at shows that, look at Next to Normal, look at some of these other shows that have done well that weren't your, big, big brass musicals that, and did really well or really well known and stuff like that. So, yes, it's a business in the sense of, you can put up, anything Disney and it'll sell, or, Moulin Rouge is a spectacle, or, Funny Girl is great. And you put a leading lady in it that has a name, people will sell. But I think that, I understand that, but I think where we are right now, especially as we come back from still recovering from the pandemic, I think, Broadway right now at this current point of where we are in 2022 needs all the money it can get and needs the stability. And, for me, as long as people are seeing shows, that's what's important. But I think that there needs to be more of I understand the financial aspect big time of taking that risk on new work. But I feel like if the show is good enough and is something there and and that's through social media presence, through songs, through people experience, one of the shows that I've been trying to get involved with is a co-producer called Super You the Musical, which just has an anthemic, female driven pop rock score. These new musicals like this, when you have a following behind it and you have people that love it, and that's what needs to happen more. But I also understand the big musicals, but those also come at a price because, just because they happen doesn't necessarily mean they'll be successful. Look at Tarzan, look at Little Mermaid. There's been some other big ones too, but I think Spider-Man, right? But I don't necessarily think that just it always be big musicals. But I do wish that we were. I do sometimes wish that the audience was a little bit more like London, where they appreciated the true art form more.
How about a hot take? Why can't? And this is what excited me about being at the Triad space. Why can't we be content with Off-Broadway is more my question. Why does Broadway have to be the end all be all? I love Broadway, but isn't it great that there's so much, like Jeffrey, you said, there's so many other exciting plays, musicals out there that are off Broadway. Isn't that enough? Not that isn't that enough, but can't we be eager and excited to do that, to go see those
I wish
Like,
more people were.
performances?
I think there are a lot of people out there that are. We just don't really hear about it.
Yeah.
It's not, as big of a scale.
Yeah, because like I love going to second stage theater, and I just told Rye, sorry.
It's okay.
I always say Ryan, but I want to go by his stage name, Rye. But I love the Flea, or I'm about to go to the Flea to see a 12th Night production with one of my students from Stony Brook who's in it. Shout out Joshua, who's playing Sebastian. And like all of that to me is so exciting. Like that's where I can't wait for your next steps, because like Rye said, there's going to be a venue that really wants to have the Parts I Keep Inside be there for an extended period.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be playing at the Imperial or the Majestic,
I mean,
and-
there's so many shows that have started off Broadway that have had a terrific life to them, that have had that's well known in pretty much all of the aspect of the theater industry, and those who love theater or theater adjacent. I mean, Songs for a New World, and all of these different shows that never really went to Broadway.
the
that
last
had
5 years.
The last 5 years.
Actually, almost a lot of Jason Robert
Yeah,
Brown.
I mean, that have, have had a life, outside of Broadway.
Yeah.
So
Oh, he also did Honeymoon in Vegas, because I saw that musical and I
yes,
loved it.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
County.
Yes. Oh, what a great soundtrack for just
but I think there's also a
cast
lot of,
album.
I
Sorry.
think there's also a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
potential.
I know Jesse
was like-
Green doesn't like when I say soundtrack. I know. I'm like, cast album. I'm sorry, Jesse.
But there's also, I think, a lot of potential too. I mean, Broadway aside, yeah, there's off-Broadway, but then there's also that possibility for, and I hope I get this right, but it's with releasing the rights to then have a tour, or to have people do your show regionally, or to sort of have things like that, where obviously there's great also financial rewards from that, but it's also a great, not marketing, but it's like your show is getting out there, and it's places are doing it,
The
and,
outreach.
right, and the outreach
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Well, so is that what you both are really excited about? Is that the Parts I Keep Inside could be performed in high schools or colleges, especially colleges. Sorry, yeah.
No,
That's
high
right.
schools.
There's the fucking degree in music song.
I mean, if they were very, open high school, I guess, but
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some like raunchy parts.
Some.
Well, tell us what's
I
one of
mean,
the
I see- I
raunchiest
mean,
parts,
well,
Jeffrey.
Gosh, just following Wall. Just anything really that the Hopeless Romantic track sings, I would say.
Okay, the hopeless romantic. Okay. Section. Okay. Well, there's this telemarketer who's like moaning
Sexy
a lot.
telemarketer.
Everyone out there, in my show notes, there is the YouTube channel with the excellent filming that was done at the Triad, I have to say.
Thank you, John Frischman.
Yes, thank you, John Frischman Media, they're
There we
the
go.
Amazing.
Triad's in-house. So the Triad has state-of-the-art recording. They can record up to like 8 different camera angles, and
It was
they recorded it
wonderful.
for us. Yeah, and so
The musicians are recorded.
it's incredible
Yeah.
how they did it. And,
Well,
and
everyone can now watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Not everything,
well,
but they
yes,
can watch
to an
selections.
extent. To an extent,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, that was more
Which
up
is great.
there for people to see, such as producers or people who are interested in the next stages of the show. But if people want to watch it, yes, of course.
you.
Yes, or you,
Or you.
audience
Or you
members.
audience members, yes,
Yes.
of course.
Well,
But-
and I think the more that it's
Yes.
out there, right, the more there's an appetite and an eagerness
oh, of course.
for these storylines.
Yes.
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
we
of course.
just for fun, I put some clips on TikTok. We just hit
Oh,
Wonderful.
yes.
over 1 million views
Yes.
on one of them.
Wow, congratulations. Oh,
I mean,
wait, how can they
Thanks.
follow the TikTok?
just at Jeffrey Schmelkin is the one that I posted it on, but you can
Yeah.
also follow at the Parts Inside on TikTok.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Oh, I have to make sure that. Well, now I'm following them on
Now you're
TikTok, but after this recording's done, I will be following. And now a message from the Gay and Lesbian Review.
Hello, listeners. This is Stephen Hemrick, the publisher of the GNLR, here with a special offer just for you. For those of you who aren't familiar with the GNLR, let me provide a little background. The GLR is a bi-monthly magazine of history, culture, and politics that publishes essays in a wide range of disciplines, as well as a slew of reviews of books, plays, and movies, and a number of special features such as artists' profiles and the popular art memo column. Each issue brings you consistently intelligent, lively, thought-provoking articles focused on a unifying theme and brings together the leading minds on the topic. You won't find a lot about the latest dating fads or fashion trends, though you might find articles about online dating as a social phenomenon or the gay influence on 20th century fashion. For example, the theme of the current issue is Queens and Kings, and it features an article by Andrew Holleran about Truman Capote's relationships with glamorous women, the women he called his swans. Now for the special offer. When you subscribe, you'll receive a free copy with any print or digital subscription. That's 7 issues instead of 6. Visit glreview.org. That's glreview.org. Click subscribe and enter promo code ITBR for your free issue. And as an added bonus, you'll receive online access to all archived issues of the magazine.
Over at I couldn't believe that. It was Moss Jones, who's wonderful. They are an incredible person. They were, in the show, and their song that they sang, "I'm Happy."
That makes
little clip
sense.
and it.
That's such a good song.
Of
the
course,
nuances.
we all think it's incredible and great, but to see it blow up like that, I mean, the comments were like awesome, and it's just got like a million views. I said to Jeffrey at one point, I said, because I think we were at 700,000 or 800,000. I said, it's probably gonna get to 1 million. He's like, no, I think it's slowed down. I don't think so. And then it was like, it hit 1 million. And we're like, wow.
Well, and that must be because of that resonant message of
So many people across the country.
like, I
across
have
the
to be so
world.
happy to the outward.
Yeah.
To the world, but internally I'm breaking down. So that's a testament to you, Jeffrey, of tapping into that feeling that you as yourself were reflecting on. I mean, we know art isn't a one-to-one, but it comes from your own struggles or your own conflicts of thinking through these ideas. So, well, congratulations. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
something that I hope does continue just as an audience member is I always say this, like those who've heard Stacey Wolf, who is at Princeton, who's a Broadway musical scholar. I did an interview with her in the fall. So listen to that. Jesse Green's interview has dropped, not while we're recording, but it's dropped when this is out. Which is the Mary Rogers episode I did with him about Once Upon a Mattress and his relationship with her to finish her memoir. But like something that I have been missing on Broadway. And well, when I saw the company production, the Marianne Elliott version, I loved it. And I thought that having the orchestra on stage is a must. I love it. I am sad when the orchestra is not on stage or you don't even see them. Like Funny Girl, I don't get why the orchestra you don't see, but what I love is you actually see the musicians, and I hope that continues because I think it's a very wonderful connection to even Jeffrey or whoever your character is going to be in this future iteration, but that it makes sense that the music is interacting with the main actor, I agree. Directing those songs together.
I agree with all of those points. I also want to say that I started out as a music director. I've MD'd so many shows, and
just for everyone out there, what is MD?
Music directed. I music directed.
Yeah.
And we were always stuck in a pit. Now I love being in a pit. It's so much fun, and it's such a great time always, usually. But there were so many times when I even had somebody come up to me after the end of one of the shows and say, oh, did you see the show? And I said, like, yes, I was kind of in it. I was the music director, and I was keyboard music director at the time, so I was playing as well. And they said, oh, I thought that was just a track. So, approaching the parts I keep inside, I wanted to put because I'm a musician first. Theater is really the avenue that I take with the majority of my music, but I'm classically trained composer, pianist, so I do contemporary classical, et cetera, et cetera.
Cool.
But for this, I wanted to put the musicians on stage, interacting with the people on stage, saying, look at us, we are here, we exist. So that's part of where that came from.
Yeah. Okay, so what can you reveal about the next steps? Like where is the parts I keep inside?
I can tell you our goals.
Yes, what are the goals?
So
because everyone out there listening, you have a wide array of audience, people located in all different areas, all different professions. They're all art lovers. So yeah.
Well, yeah, so we want to, so the 3.0 version is almost finished. By the time you're listening or watching this, it will be finished. And we want to do a couple of readings, a couple of workshops throughout 2023 for a hopeful extended off-Broadway run at the end of 2023 into 2024. Let that go on, last as long as it may, and then license it for original production is really.
Oh, that's exciting. Oh, that would be great to be licensed.
Yes, and we're also, we're also, in talks with different general management companies, because we are also at that phase 2 from the producer standpoint, and Jeffrey is also a producer as well on the show. Is we're at that point where the next round of what we do with the show is there's going to obviously need to be and will be some sort of investment factor past just doing a GoFundMe and stuff like that, especially if we're looking to do Broadway or we're looking to license. There's got to be obviously funding involved in that sense, and that obviously involves, while it's exciting, there's a lot of obviously complicated and minute details and legal stuff that you have to do. But the great thing is we've been talking with some general management companies, so we're hoping that we can obviously we want to be guided in the right way with what we do, and they're obviously big help, and so the options of course are endless. I know we're also talking about eventually a recording of the songs, so releasing that in some aspect, and so this is not the end for sure. There's so much to come.
Oh, it's exciting. Okay, so for everyone, this has been so wonderful. It went by really quick.
Me too.
Well, just because we're in the Ivory Tower boiler room, we're literally like in the basement level here in the art gallery. So we're kind of the lower level basement. We're kind of the boiler room. If it was like August, it would be the boiler room, but we're in a very aesthetically pleasing lower level. I like that. Borrowing Rye is a huge Housewives fan. So,
yes.
Who said that to the audience out there? No, don't answer them. Okay. But so just some hot takes. Jeffrey got so scared. No. But are you excited? Apprehensive? How do you feel about this 2022-2023 Broadway season, off-Broadway season?
I'm excited. It really bothers me sometimes when people are, like super against a piece of art coming out. Now that said, there are some things on Broadway, off-Broadway that are not my personal cup of tea that I, would not want to see again. But that's just me, and I think that that's the beauty of it. Like there's this art form that we all love the form. That's why we keep going.
Exactly. Like I don't have to like Bad Cinderella.
Do you have a queer fascination with classic films? Ever wish you'd be transported back to that golden age of cinema as if you're in the movies themselves? Hi, my name is Christian Garcia, and I am the host of That Old Gay Classic Cinema. Join my friends and I as we travel back in time to that classic age of film and peel back the layers of how these films transformed our view behind the camera and into the lens of cinema. Make sure to follow my Instagram at That Old Gay Classic Cinema And I'll be sure to save you a seat at our next showing. See you there.
Hey, True Crime and Ivory Tower Boiler Room listeners. Listen, the holidays are literally right around the corner. And I know that some of you are scrambling to find that gift for that person on your list who is just so difficult to buy for because they have everything. Or you're sitting there in your home and you're realizing that there is this space in your house that just is begging to be decorated, but you don't know what to put there. Well, I'm here to tell you that Mandy Made It has the answers to all of your holiday needs. Mandy Made It makes the best handmade crochet and cricut items I have ever seen. And I mean, literally, she can make anything. The customization options are literally endless. So go to @MandyMadeIt on Instagram and search Mandy Made It on Facebook. Slide into her DMs and order your customized holiday gifts and decorations today. That's @MandyMadeIt on Instagram. And Mandy is spelled MANDEE. Once again, search Mandy Made It on Instagram and Facebook. Slide in her DMs and order your gifts or holiday decorations today.
That's true. You don't have to like that Cinderella. Some people might, some people might not.
Yes.
But that's it. And I'm excited that, especially after, a pandemic where we were closed for a year and a half, I'm excited that new things are coming out,
Yes.
as they should. New voices are being heard as they should.
Yeah.
A lot of new stories that need to be told that have not been told, that
Like Kimberly Akimbo, I know is
Yes.
getting a lot of press.
Yes.
yeah, just all
Yeah.
these things. So I'm excited to see the future.
Yes, Leah. See the future. Okay. How about you, Rye?
Yeah, to piggyback off what he said, I'm actually very excited about this season. There's a lot of good things coming up that have already started. I mean, Almost Famous, Kimberly Akimbo, Piano Lesson, Death of a Salesman, Ohio State Murders, and so many things opening next year. I mean, we have Sweeney Todd, and
Oh, that
in
excited for
June
that.
there's that was just announced today, Back to the Future is coming to the Winter Garden Theater. So there's a lot of exciting things coming, and I think it's wonderful to see. And as you said, I mean, it's not for everyone, and that's okay. And I say, you don't have to like everything. And it doesn't have to be your cup of tea. But I think what for me is tough is when it's bashed so hard in the media and it's bashed so much online. And such as Diana the Musical which was all things aside, I loved that musical. It was fun. I listened to the soundtrack all the time. It was just, I'm a big Princess Diana fan. I'm probably she's the one person I would want to bring back to life and talk to. And I love that musical so much. But I just feel that and I just feel that this season there's a lot of good stuff coming out. And even if people don't like it, understand. I'd like to say to people, understand this, that there are obviously a lot of people behind that show that need to be paid. That the more you hate on it and shit on it, that's more of the possibility that it'll close and this person will be out of a job. Also, there's also a lot at stake. Like, I know it probably how much it costs to put up that show or to get that person on that stage or to get that actor on that stage. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. So
Yeah. No, well, and it's where there's always an audience who's going to be reached. So you're reached by Diana. I wasn't very invested, but
right.
I love Carrie the musical. And I know not a lot of people liked that Broadway musical. So there's always going to be finding your audience, right. And then, like you said, when you find that community, there are the diehard fans or just those, what I love with the parts I keep inside is how many have opened up to you, Jeffrey. You even mentioned TikTok. But even those in person at the Triad talking about their own mental health or, wow, that resonated with me during the pandemic or even what I'm working through. So
it was a strange level of responsibility that I felt. At first I was terrified. I was like, I'm putting all this out there. But then people started talking to me about, I resonated with, these things that you said or mentioned about depression or all these things. And I was like, it it's a responsibility level that I just wasn't prepared for.
Yeah. Well, you are doing such exciting, such empowering work, in my opinion. And Rye is continuing to, find those hidden, not hidden, but find those treasures that need to be amplified. I'll say it that way. So I can't wait to see what happens with the parts I keep inside. Everyone out there, please go to the parts I keep inside.com. Okay. I never know what the ending will be. .com. The YouTube channel of some of the clips from the Triad are in the show notes. Check that out. Please follow Rye.
Yes, at Rye_Myers. That's Rye with an E, like Liza with a Z. RYE_Myers on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, though I'm mostly active on the gram.
Yeah, do the gram game for us all. And TikTok. But okay, and then how can they follow you, Jeffrey?
Instagram at Jeffrey Schmelkin, SCHMELKN. TikTok at Jeffrey Schmelkin. It's all at Jeffrey Schmelkin, except Twitter, which is at J Schmelkin, because Jeffrey Schmelkin did not fit. So I'm annoyed with Twitter for that. But
okay, yeah, we can take up grievances against Twitter at another time.
I'm sure we
can. Okay, well, thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you for having
this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rye.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much for having us. This was so wonderful. I'm so honored that you asked us to be a part of this podcast and for this interview. Just very thrilled and so grateful.
Of course. Well, and you both are welcome back anytime.
Thank you very
much. When
you.
like, let's see. Hopefully, I'm sure there'll be something in the future. So
for sure, for sure.
Yeah, let's manifest that.
That's
okay.
right.
Bye, everyone. Hi, Ivory Tower Boiler Room audience. It is Andrew Rimby, the director of the Ivory Tower Boiler Room. Welcome to our winter season. And are you trying to stay warm this season? Well, guess what? We have the Ivory Tower Boiler Room Cafe. It is our Patreon where there is so much bonus content. So I'll go over all that. But first, it's only $5, which is less than a latte, a cappuccino, a coffee, a tea, basically anything now because, we have some inflation going on. So join us on our Patreon, patreon.com/Ivory Tower Boiler Room. What do you get? You get Gregory Maguire giving us all the scoop on the Wicked movie musical. You get Jesse Green giving us his hot takes on the Broadway musical. If you don't know who Jesse is, well, you should, because he's the chief theater critic of the New York Times. You get all the JFK and Marilyn Monroe scoop from Elizabeth Winder, a Marilyn Monroe biographer. So much more. You get all our video interviews. You can see everything, including the bonus content. And Mary's going to tell you from True Crime and Academia what you get later. But if you're not following us on social media and seeing our video teasers, well, you need that to stay, nice and energized on these winter days. So follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Ivory Tower Boiler Room. While it's still here, why don't you follow us on Twitter at Ivory Boiler Room? And here's my chief contributor, Mary.
Hey, True Crime friends and Ivory Tower Boiler Room friends. Like Andrew said, you're going to get access to all of this bonus content. That includes True Crime and Academia. So not only will you have access to the bonus episode each month, you will also have video access to the interviews that I conduct on my podcast once a month. You get all of that extra content at your fingertips whenever you feel like watching it, literally for a cup of coffee. So why don't you just buy us one? That'd be so nice. We would appreciate that because we love your support already, but we could use a little bit more if you don't mind.
Yes, we could. And also, hey, do you all know you can actually DM us questions at our social media channels? Yes. Also, why don't you ask us questions with our social media posts? We love it. We even shout out questions on our episodes. And if you want, you can always email us at ivorytowerboilerroom@gmail.com to actually order our merchandise. So we have hats, we have t-shirts, we have posters, we have everything. If you want any merchandise with the Ivory Tower Boiler Room logo, we're going to make it happen for you. Okay, on that note, happy winter season, everyone.
Happy winter.